So, heavy metal machines. How did it start?
So Hoplon has 16 years of existence right now. We're a Brazilian studio, and we've been developing games for a while. We used to have a creative Monday, where employees have the opportunity to pitch their game ideas. Ali, our game director, pitched the idea of a game that makes it MOBA, heavy metal, and it was spiritually inspired by Rock and Roll Racing, a game from 1990s from Blizzard. And that's where the first version of Heavy Metal Machines was released. We did a mock reveal with a few editors here in America. They did some very nice input. They gave us some very nice feedbacks. And ever since, that was like 2.5 years ago, ever since we've been developing and polishing the game, we took a lot of those feedbacks and we really improved the game. So this version, which we think that is the best version of this game ever, showcased a lot of improvement from the past version, and definitely a lot of things that we learned in the past.
Nice. Like, it definitely reminds me, even going further back with like Super Off-Road, like that kind of top-down kind of like you're trying to get the corners just perfect to get that extra little distance on them. Really kind of like a modern version of that. It's really fun, really fast. So your guys' racing is using like a tag system where you kind of like tag ahead of where you want to be and then move the cursor around to cut around the corners. Now you guys experimented originally with using the directional keys like the WSAD. How did that transition?
Exactly. We, as you know, our references show our age, right? 1990s, Blizzard, Rock and Roll Racing, so we definitely are old gamers.
Yeah.
So when we think about playing with keyboard and mouse, the first thing that comes out in our head is WASD.
Yeah.
That's like the standard. So the first version and the one of the latest version that we developed was using WASD. So that was kind of hard to people to adopt the game. Especially the young players, they are not very used to those keys anymore. They are more like playing with QEER and the mouse, point and click. So we decided to change that approach, to change that control to something that is more like appropriate or more useful or more common to everyone. So that's when we did like the upgrade and the controls, and we changed the entire schematic. And now we have like a tag or control where you point the cursor of the mouse and you click, and then the car goes in that direction. And we changed the abilities from the right, left, and scroll button to QEER, which is more. It's pretty much like any MOBA today or any RPG game. So yeah, we decided to make that change so we can lower the barriers of adoption of our game, and that was extremely successful. Extremely successful. We sort of tested out here in America, and we have only good feedbacks about it. Only good feedbacks.
Yeah, like when I first heard about the tagging, I was like, I don't know, but it works so well. Like especially getting like really nice corners and stuff. I think having back to those like 4 keys, it's kind of almost very jerky. It's not as fluid. It's not as nice, and the cars handle really good. How did you guys balance a lot of like the car issues with all of them kind of having that different play style?
Exactly, that was a huge challenge. A huge challenge when we transitioned from keys to mouse, because we had to change the entire physics of the game. Not only the weight of the cars, but the traction, one wheel. Like when we are turning, making a curve, one wheel has more traction, the other has less traction. So we changed a lot of that in the process of changing the controls. So it were before we changed to the mouse and the tag control, things were pretty like the car were hard to drive.
Yeah.
Every single touch that you had in an A or D button, the car will drift. So it was pretty hard. Now we changed that physics. Our game designers spent like months trying to figure it out, and we were pretty happy with the results because now you have a car that is fast. It is pretty fun to drive, but it's easy to handle. You know, so you feel that you can do a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stunts, a lot of movement, but you're still in control the entire time, which is basically what you need when you're being chased by your enemies or you have a bomb in your back. So.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing too is like you find a car you like, it's not just stationary to that look. You guys have skins that drastically kind of change it up, and there's quite a bit. So how does the skin system work, and how do you actually like obtain them?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're a free-to-play game, so one of the key things for us to make this game successful is to connect the character with the player. So we definitely want that every single player that we have connect with one kind of a character.
Yeah.
So the idea, obviously, the skins is for you to to enhance or to make that connection even easier for you to connect with the character. So definitely we have a different set of skins for each car. We are giving out at PAX full exclusive PAX skins.
Nice.
Which your audience will be access to it. If you send to them, we're gonna give you some exclusive PAX skins, which will be available only for those who have the code. And obviously, along the way, we're gonna also create a lot of more skins for each car. Right now, we have obviously the standard skin, a gold, a premium skin, and a silver skin, which are like based on how much fame or which is the soft currency in the game you gain during the play. So every time you play the game, you win the game, you gain fame. Every time you level up, you gain fame, and you can buy new pilots and new car skins with this fame money.
Nice. So with like the skins, whatever, do you guys think later on you might have like community challenges where they can create skins for like different events and whatnot?
That is an awesome idea, and yes, we're definitely gonna have that. For instance, we've been testing this game in Brazil with our very small community, and there was one character that keeps popping out and is already in our pipeline. People want a clown driving an ice cream truck.
It's almost like it hasn't been done before.
Right? But that's what they want.
Hey, why not?
It's incredible how many people want that.
Especially with that kind of genre, with like that kind of thing. Like Twisted Metal was kind of like that game for the longest time.
Exactly.
And I mean, the popularity is, it's there, it's not there, and then all of a sudden it just surges out of nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah, we're definitely, like I said, we're spiritually inspired by Twisted Metal, rock and roll racing, definitely a little bit of Rocket League too. Definitely a little bit of MOBA-ish, because we have classes, we have progression, the count progression. So we have a lot of stuff that we took out of various genres and a bunch of different games, so we can put it into and make our own game, our own approach to game design.
Nice. So the music that you guys have into the game, where are you getting it from, and kind of how many tracks are we kind of roughly looking at?
That is an awesome question, because our game is heavy metal machines, and we are definitely shooting for heavy metal songs. So right now, all of our songs are created by our own audio engineers.
Nice.
So yeah, they pitch an idea, then everyone comes in and give us some thoughts and give some ideas. And but right now, all the tracks are created by our own artists, audio artists and audio engineers.
Nice. Then you don't have to fight for licensing rights later on if you make a sequel and port it to different ares.
Exactly. But there is another twist that I'm going to tell you right now. Each character has their own soundtrack. Nice. So that's amazing. Each character has their own vibe. For instance, we have two brothers called Clunkers Brothers. They are like the hillbilly, redneck kind, farm boys. They drive a truck and they hear like southern rock, like more country rock. It's because that's the character.
Yeah.
So we have a lot lot of different genres within the heavy metal realm.
Okay.
And we are definitely working with negotiating some deals with some, like upcoming heavy metal bands, rock and roll bands,
Nice.
indie bands. So we can not only have their songs in the game, but also have their their guitarist, their lead singer, their batteries, have them portrayed in our game.
Nice. So the characters you have, how many characters do you currently have in the game?
Right now, we have 8 characters. We have 4 more in our pipeline, ready to be released. But we have so many other characters planned for this game. We are about to release the game in 2017, the end of Q1 2017, and by then we expect to have at least 20 characters. So we have a lot of characters planned for the next months.
And each of the characters kind of have their own exclusive rig that they can basically drive?
Exactly. Each character has their own car, exclusive. You cannot pick a driver and a car. No, it's a mix. It's a match. They're together. For instance, one of our most famous car, Wildfire, before the apocalypse that happened in Heavy Metal Machine, she was a daughter of a rich family, right? She was like a rich girl. Her father gave her anything, and then the apocalypse happened, and she saw herself alone. She didn't have anything, but she learned how to weld. So she built her own car, which is a hot rod, and she was burned in the middle of that. She was burned, and she has problems with fire. So the best way to deal with that, she is obviously, her power is fire. So her car breathes fire. So each character has their own persona, and this persona is also communicated through the car.
And that was the redhead girl?
Exactly.
That's who I actually played as when I was trying it out.
Awesome. She's amazing. The car is pretty good. Their abilities are awesome. She is one of the go-to girls or the go-to characters when you're first starting the game, because she has the ability that is both. The first ability is short range, right? When you're crowded in a small space, but you also have a long range ability where you shoot a projectile and you can hit your enemies from far.
Nice.
So she's a very versatile character in our game.
So I'm seeing on the monitor that he's playing right now that it shows a cutscene. So how many cutscenes do you have? Are they per character, or is there one central plot that kind of interweaves all the characters? Or
Exactly. We have one cutscene for each character.
Okay.
So each character, there's a backstory for Heavy Metal Machines, which is a post-apocalyptic world, but each character has their own backstory, okay? And each character has, they have an interconnection in this story. For instance, there's a character called Little Monster. She drives a Bigfoot, which is those big trucks.
Yeah.
But this car was her father's car, and her father he was killed in the tracks, and then she drives his car, and one of the guy who killed the girl who killed his father is still a driver, but we don't tell that story yet. So you have every character has their own cutscene, has their own backstory, has their own lore. So this is built as an entire backstory, an entire lore of the universe of Heavy Metal Machines.
So on kind of the far end of each spectrum for each car and how they handle, do they just go really loose to really with maybe a lot of power behind it, and then slow? How does that kind of work with having different feels and different weapons?
That's perfect. First of all, we try to divide into 3 different classes. Okay, the first class is a support, which is basically a healer. Okay, interceptor, which is basically a type of car that intercepts the transporter, which is the third class of who's got the bomb from the enemy side, and the transporter who's responsible for transporting the bomb. So each character, we do a hard work balancing out. So there's no OP characters basically. So yeah, definitely. If you have one character is called Rampage, he's based on a real episode in the world that happened in America a few years ago when a guy he bulletproof his entire tractor and went out crazy in the city. You remember that?
No.
Destroying the entire city. No one could get him. So Rampage is loosely based on that character. So in this story, and he's like, he's a tractor. Okay, so he's strong. And he can move anything that he wants, but he's not that fast, and he's not that precise, you know. So you have to balance out. And for instance, one of the coolest strategies that you have with Rampage is to pick up all the shortcuts, go ahead with the guy who has the bomb, wait for him, and once he's in front of you, then you can hit it, because you cannot chase them. You're not fast enough. So yeah, we balance it out a lot of the characters.
So for taking that bomb and delivering it to like the goal for that objective, what other kind of modes are there in the game?
Yeah, right now we're in closed beta, and this is the only game mode that we have. Okay, which is sort of a flag, you know, reverse. You don't bring to your base, but you take to the other. Right now, this is the only game mode that we have. But we definitely have after we release the game in 2017, we're definitely gonna add more game modes to the game.
Nice.
And new arenas as well. So we are continually developing that after we release the game in 2017.
What kind of variety are we looking at for the tracks? Are they like the one I was playing at is like a lot of like rock and like kind of like bright lights? Are we gonna have like more like almost like outdoor kind of environments, like whether it's like trees, forest, or like winter areas?
Yeah, we are in the Metal City, which is the city that was built after the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And the arena where you play is like the Coliseum for the city, okay? So this is a show, you see the Zeppelin, you see the cameras, there's people cheering. So yeah, this is a Coliseum. But we're definitely thinking about developing some sort of, I don't know, how can I say, like arenas that are not like mainstream. So some kind of arena that is like
underground secret racing?
Oh, that is the word that I was looking for. Underground arena.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe something running out of tracks, you know, off the records. Yeah, we're definitely looking into that. In our map, our game map, there's a lot of space for us to do that. So in the universe that we created, there's a lot of space for us to create like underground scenery for, you know, like racing and stuff like that.
Nice. So like each of the characters, are they like fully voiced, or is it just all like written dialogue? Or
no, they're fully voiced.
Nice.
We definitely have each character have their own cut. Go back. Each character have their own voice, their own persona, so and their own lines.
Nice.
We are releasing a character one per month after PAX, and we're gonna release with a short film introducing the story of their characters. It's narrated by their own characters, so we're gonna.
Okay.
It is going to be a story told by themselves with some very cool 2D animations that we have here in the game. So it's a cutscene, it's a movie, it's a short film that is going to present the character and what's his role in this universe. So yeah, we have a lot of dialogues and a lot of voiceovers in the game. We were very, very specific on that to create the environment. So every time you hit someone or you every feedback in the game, so when an ability is recharged, you hear the character talking with you, so you don't have to read every time something happens.
Nice. So you're releasing on Steam?
Yeah, right now our game is available on Steam. We're in closed beta, so you need to register at our website, heavymetalmachines.com, so you can grab a closed beta key. And we're in Steam right now. We're releasing the game in 2017, and right now we have a team working on porting this to Xbox.
Nice.
So pretty soon, we're gonna have a version of Heavy Metal Machines in Xbox.
Nice. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Enjoy
Glad
the
that
rest
you
of your
enjoyed.
show.
Thank you. You too.